Today we're going to be taking a look at a new bike from Macwheel. Now Macwheel did send me this bike to test out and review. This is the LNE-16, and basically I think what the 16 is it has 16-inch wheels on it, so pretty excited to check this bike out. It's a smaller bike. It doesn't fold in half, but the handle does fold down, and it's supposed to be a pretty compact bike. So we're going to get this thing out of the box today, see what it takes to put it together. Then I'm going to charge this baby up, take it for a spin, and do a detailed overview of what you get for around $500 on this bike. When I got this delivered from FedEx, there was a big hole in the side of this box, and it got stuck down in North Carolina. This package came from New Jersey, and it was going back and forth between two different areas down there. Had to be relabeled and everything, so I don't know what the heck was going on with FedEx, but I've been hearing there's been a lot of issues lately with deliveries from them. I mean, not with just this company, but with all different bike companies out. And a lot of people have been getting the runaround from FedEx and UPS lately. Okay, luckily the front hole was just from the front wheel coming out of the box. And it had a piece of cardboard over it, so hopefully nothing's damaged. Seems pretty nice and light. That's cute, a little kickstand on there. So let's get this thing opened up. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be much assembly here. I believe this bike comes pretty much assembled. I think you just have to do some adjustments maybe and install the seat post. All right guys, so there's the bike so far. All I had to do was attach the handlebars. You don't need any tools for that. Take the seat post out of the bottom, put it in the top. Now the only assembly that it looks like you're going to have to do is bolt the pedals on the left and the right side. And then there's a different style clamping system here on the stem, which I've never seen. I thought it was going to have like a quick clamp from some of the earlier pictures that I've seen of this bike, but it has a bolt that screws in here, so I got to find that yet. Yeah, it's in here, right here in the package. So this is a little different on that stem design there, but we'll go over that feature in my detailed video. That's an odd design there. Not sure if I really like the way that clamps. I mean, it's tight for sure, but I feel like I would have liked the quick clamping stem a little better than the way that this clamps and holds the stem tight there. I'm gonna get these pedals put on and charge this baby up. Oh yeah. It looks like I gotta put some air in the tires too for sure. Whoa, okay. Better turn that off for now. All right, so they do give you a little pedal wrench for installing these pedals, along with, it's like a multi-tool. So that's pretty cool that they include that. And they are labeled left and right, so make sure you put them on the correct sides. They are not folding pedals, so that's one thing that I'll probably be upgrading. Probably put quick detach pedals on here, that way when you fold this thing down it'll be really a lot smaller. And I'll put a link down below if you guys are interested. It's the same ones I put on some of my other bikes. Okay, got the pedal on. All right guys, so there it is. I'm gonna go over all the nuts and bolts, make sure everything's nice and tight, adjust the brakes, make sure they're good. And I'm also going to wipe the rotors down with a brake cleaner to get all the oils and grease off the rotors before the first ride. You want to make sure you do that because you don't want any of the grease or oil to get into your brake pads. Make sure you guys put some air in these tires. They seem to be a little low when it comes. It says they are rated for 35 to 45 PSI, so I'm going to put 40 pounds in, split the difference, and go from there. All right, so in the box, like I said, you get this tool, but you also get the 36 volt 2 amp charger and the user manual. Now the user manual has some really nice directions in there of how to get this bike assembled and put together. Like I said, there's not much to it to put it together. However, there's really no instructions in here for adjusting your brakes or adjusting your tension on your chain or anything, because this is a single gear here. So that's really easy to do. I'll probably show you how to do that because it looks like this one may need adjusted. I'll have to take it for a ride and see, but there might be a little too much slack there, so I may have to adjust that chain. But let's see if this multi-tool fits back here. No, so this tool does not fit the nuts on the back wheel here or the front wheel, so this tool isn't going to do everything you need. So you're going to need to, have another set of wrenches or sockets, and then probably a multi-tool like this one that I always use. I'll put links down below for this multi-tool here. It's really nice for adjusting your brakes and things like that. And one thing I wanted to mention is this seat tube is pretty big. It's pretty thick. It's bigger than my biggest seat post on my other bikes. It's bigger than a 31.6. I don't know exactly what size it is, but I'm gonna have to see because I like to usually put suspension seat posts in all my bikes. So I'm not sure I'll be able to find an adapter or a seat post for that, but that's something I'll have to look into. All right guys, so now I'm gonna just do a measurement on the minimum and maximum seat heights on this bike so you know how it sits. Now the minimum seat height is gonna be about right around 27 inches, which is very low, so that's really nice. It's nice that it goes that low. And then the maximum seat height, we're gonna set it right to the line that they recommend for the minimum insertion height. And the maximum is 39 inches. So from 27 to 39 inches, you got a lot of adjustability there. However, when it's all the way up, you can see the seat post does wobble a little bit. Let's see if we could tighten that up a little bit. Still a little wobbly. It'll still hold you though. It still holds good. So I don't think there's going to be an issue with strength on it. But yeah, 27 to, 39 inches. So let's take a look at some of the specs and features of the Macwheel LNE-16 electric bike. To control this bike, up here on the handlebars, you have a display meter, which allows you to control your PAS levels from 0 to 5, and also gives you a battery meter in 20% increments. Over here in the center of the handlebars, you have a quick release that allows you to quickly and easily adjust the roll on your handlebars for different riders. Over here on the right hand side, they give you a little bell, which is always nice to see, and they give you a half twist throttle with a shutoff button that allows you to turn the throttle on and off as needed, which is nice because you could turn the throttle off whenever you want to make it a Class 1 e-bike. So now coming down the stem, you'll see that it is not adjustable height-wise up or down, but it is foldable by unlatching the clamp on the front and folding the handlebar down to make it nice and compact. Now I really don't care too much for the latch just because it's kind of big and bulky. I would have preferred a quick clamp, but they said they did change it to this to make it more secure, and when I latched it, it was very nice and tight. So now coming down the frame, that's where the 36 volt, 7.5 amp hour, 270 watt hour battery is stored. It's stored inside the frame nicely. You don't have to worry about people stealing the battery or even knowing that it's an electric bike. However, the only downfall is it is not swappable on the go. So if you want more range than what the 7.5 amp hour battery gives you, you'll have to stop and recharge before your next trip. Now they do estimate the charge cycles on this battery to around 500 with a charge time of about 4 hours with the 2 amp charger that is included. That battery is using a 36 volt 15 amp controller to power the 250 watt hub motor in the rear of the bike. For manual power, you have a 16 tooth sprocket in the rear coming up the KMC chain to a 52 tooth sprocket in the front and pro wheel cranks. The pedals are branded Nico and they are not foldable, so that's one thing I'll be upgrading in the future. For stopping power, this bike's using a set of Zoom brake levers with integrated motor cutoff switches, which is a nice safety feature. They're coming down to a set of Speed branded calipers, which is using 160 millimeter rotors to stop the bike. One thing that's nice is this bike comes with a nice set of plastic fenders for the front and the rear, but it does not come with a headlight or tail light for safety, but they do include a reflector for the front and the back. It would have been nice to see a headlight so you could see if you were riding at night, and also a tail light for some kind of safety. With a weight rating of 200 pounds on this bike and the seat being able to adjust very high or very low, makes it nice because it's an adult bike that I can ride being 5'8" and about 165 pounds. But also my son can ride it and he's just under 4'2" at around 52 pounds. I'll leave an affiliate link to both their website where you can use the code McIntosh to save $10 off one of their bikes, and also a link to Amazon if you guys are interested in checking out any other specs. If you use one of the links, I will make a small commission at no extra cost to you. Another thing that I really like about this bike is the look of the mag rims. I really like the style of those, and they're using a set of CST city tires with white walls on the rims. However, the white's not really a white. It kind of makes it look like a dirty white. It would have been nice if this was either a reflective strip or a nice bright white on the tire. It would have really made the bike pop, in my opinion. So let's hop on this bike, take it for a ride, and see what it'll do. All right guys, so we're over here on the Macwheel LNE-16 16-inch bike, and we're going to do a speed test today in all the PAS levels. Now there are 5 different levels to choose from, and we're going to put it in each level and see how this bike reacts and see how it works. So right now I'm just in PAS 1. I do have a full battery. We're going to start from a stop here, and I'm in pedal assist mode. And when you start pedaling real lightly, you don't even feel nothing. Like, I don't even feel the motor kicking in right now. But if you start the pedal faster and put more pressure on the pedals, you can start to hear the motor kick in, which is really nice feature because you could basically just pedal like really slow if you want. If you're in a crowd of people, you don't have to worry about being in PAS1 because it's still going to give you a little bit of assist. There's no jerky action or anything when it starts out, so that's really nice. And then if you need the throttle, you can hit it if you want. You know what I mean? If you don't want to start out slow like that, you can always use the throttle. Now, one thing I did notice is that whenever you are in your PAS levels, your throttle is going to be limited to that level. So whatever PAS1 speed is maxed at, your throttle is going to be maxed at in PAS1. So if you want full effect of your throttle, you have to be in PAS5 for that. Let's go ahead and get into it, and we're going to show you what each PAS level can do. But I'm really liking that PAS1, how you can almost barely even pedal. Like right now, I have it on barely pedaling and it's not taking off or anything. I can start to feel it pick up speed just gradually. You quit pedaling and it's just really, really nice the way it's kicking in and out on PAS1. So let's go ahead, switch over to the other GoPro and show you what this bike can do. All right guys, so here we go. We're in PAS1 and you can see I'm barely pedaling and it's just picking up speed real nice. Now if I start to pedal faster, the speed's going to pick up. And this is about where it's comfortable pedaling. So I would say PAS1 is about 10 miles per hour. And that's with just the pedal assist, not using any throttle. Now we're going to use just the throttle in PAS1 and see what speed that gets me to. So it looks like throttle in PAS1 is right about the same, about 10 miles per hour. One thing I wanted to mention real quick, there is a PAS0 if you want to just pedal it like a normal bike. You could just put it down in 0 and pedal it just like a regular bicycle, and the throttle does not work. When you're in PAS0, the throttle will not work no matter what, so just keep that in mind. Okay, PAS2, just pedaling. And PAS2 is going to be around 11 miles per hour. Maybe 12. Between 11 and 12. And to be honest, this is about as fast as I would want to pedal on this bike. So anything after PAS2, it's going to seem like you're pedaling too fast or pedaling air. So anything after PAS2, you're pretty much probably going to just use the throttle, because you can see here how fast my legs are moving. It's not too bad right now, but in PAS3, I'm having a feeling that it's going to be a little too fast on the pedals. So let's try throttle only in PAS2. Should be about the same. Yep, about 11 miles per hour with throttle only in PAS2. Now, this test is being done all on level ground here. I mean, it's fairly level, big parking lot. And I'm about 165 pounds, so just keep that in mind, guys. If you weigh more or less, your speed is gonna vary. And your terrain, if you're going up hills, is definitely gonna make a difference in your speed. So let's try PAS3. I mean, I guess 3 isn't too bad pedaling either. It seems a little fast. So on a very long ride, it might seem like you're pedaling too much, but I guess 3 is not too bad. So PAS3 seems to be about 12 miles per hour with pedal assist only, right around 12 to 13. So let's try throttle only. Okay, so 13 miles per hour on level 3. All right, and let's try 4. This is just with the pedals. And I'm not really putting any of my own effort in. I'm just turning the pedals to where I feel a little bit of resistance. Now, if I really pedaled hard, I could probably go faster than this in each PAS level. So PAS4 is about 14 miles per hour. Let's try throttle only. And about the same, 14 miles per hour. So here's level 5. This is going to be a max speed run, guys. And this bike's rated to go 15.5 miles per hour. My GPS doesn't register half mile per hour, but you can see here that you're not going to maintain pedaling at this speed. And there's 15, but you can see how fast my legs are moving. It's not ideal at all for pedaling at this speed. So more than likely you're going to be using the throttle on PAS 5. So 14, 15, so right around 15. Now let's try throttle only on this mode, on mode 5, throttle only. And it's holding 15 fine. So 15, maybe 15 and a half. Like I said, my speedometer doesn't measure half miles per hour, so it's right around what it's rated at. They say 15 and a half, so it's right around that. Now if you hit any hills, it's going to vary, but I would say overall about 15 miles per hour top speed. One other thing I want to note, guys, is you could turn your throttle on or off right here at any time, which is a really nice feature if one of your kids are riding it, or if you have to disable your throttle for basically like a class 1 e-bike. If there was a law on a trail or something that you can only ride class 1, you could disable your throttle very easily right there. So overall, so far, pretty nice. Very easy to maneuver. The seat is a little bit hard. I'm probably going to be upgrading the seat. Actually looking into a shim. Maybe I could just use my existing seats with my suspension seat post in this bike. I got to see if I can find an adapter for the seat post. But you can hear the motor kicking in. So even with it being 250 watts, I mean, it's pretty nice little bike. It's actually pretty fun. It's actually really fun just whipping around. You know, if I'm over here with my kid riding around or whatever, it's actually a pretty fun little bike. All right, guys, so now let's take this on some hills and see what this baby will do on some hills. All right, guys, so we're gonna go up this hill here. This is about a 12-degree grade coming up this. I'm not sure we're gonna make it, but we're gonna try it out. This 250 watt motor, we're gonna go ahead down here to the bottom. And we're gonna give it all she got and see if we can make it to the top. It's really hard to show how steep these hills are in videos. Hopefully you guys can get a good idea. If you've watched some of my other videos, I'm sure you guys know, because there's a few times I've stopped on it and measured it. So let's start from here. We're gonna start throttle only, and then I'm gonna start pedaling. And I'm in PAS 5. And I'll probably start pedaling about right now, just because I don't want to put too much of a hurting on it. Okay. Not too bad. Not too shabby, guys. Look, one-handed. Not bad for a 250 watt motor. I'm actually really impressed that it took me up that little hill, no problem. So let's go for a little ride down the road here. I'm still going up a slight incline here. Guys, I'm pretty impressed. I did not think a 250 watt motor would have that much power to take me up that hill that easy. Now on long steep hills, guys, you guys aren't going to want to force this bike. I mean, any e-bike really, going up long steep hills, you're going to want to help it pedal. Even on my 500 watt motor bikes that peak at 800-900 watts, I still pedal up almost, even that hill there, I still put effort into it coming up it, because I just don't want to burn the motor out. Because the more you let the controller and the battery work to give the motor power, the hotter everything's going to get, the hotter your controller is going to get. So the more work you put into it, the longer everything's going to last. All right, guys, I wasn't going to do this in this video, but this is a really long hill, and it came up the last one so well that I'm gonna try this one. I'm probably gonna be wore out by the time I get to the top, but we'll give it a shot. I gotta tell you guys, these brakes are pretty good right out of the box. I didn't have to adjust them. There's no squill or anything. The only thing I did was wipe them down with brake cleaner before I went for my first ride to get all the oils off the rotors, and they've been pretty good. No squeaks, no squills. Definitely good enough stopping power. All right, guys, here we go. And I'm gonna pedal the whole way up this one. Not bad, 14 miles an hour still. Just starting to hit a little bit of the steeper part here. And it holds about this grade the whole way up. So I am putting a little bit of decent effort into these pedals. Like I said, I don't want to burn anything up. You can see the battery bars went down 2 bars, probably from the amp draw. Once I get up to the top and level off, I'm sure they'll go back up to full. So yeah, my legs are burning now, guys. That's a long hill though. That's a long hill. Whew. So yeah, guys, with this single gear in the back, whew, oh man, I'm out of breath. Good exercise though. Very good exercise. That was actually a really long hill. So with that single gear in the back, you do run out of pedal easy on higher speeds past like 12 miles per hour, but you need that little gear in the back to get you up hills when you encounter hills. So I would say it was a good choice, if it was, since they were going with a single gear, to go with the one that they did go with, because like I said, when you encounter hills, you're going to need it. But not too bad. Not too bad if you encounter hills here and there like that. Now, if you're going up hills all day long like that, then this probably isn't going to be the bike for you. But if you're on a lot of level ground with just slight inclines, this bike's great. I mean, there's no issues at all. So far on this battery, I went 3.4 miles. Like I said, the battery was fully charged when I left. You could see it's fully charged there, but as soon as I start pedaling, it goes down 2 bars and then back up. Now they say that to get an accurate reading to stop pedaling, but obviously the battery is not fully charged because I've been riding it for a little bit. But let's go down to 1 and see how much it goes down when I start pedaling. So it didn't drop at all there because it's just kicking in gradually. So yeah, guys, you're gonna have to just keep an eye on your energy bar as you're going. If you start hitting that 1 bar and it starts getting down to almost no bars while you're going up slight inclines, not super steep inclines, because that is really gonna drop it, then you're gonna wanna just keep an eye on it so you don't get stranded and have to walk back. Now, another thing that's pretty cool is this bike does have a walk mode. So if you hold the down button when you're off of it, it goes into like a P setting, and it does have a walk mode of a few miles an hour, which is nice, so you don't have to push the bike if you're pushing it up a hill or whatnot. If you hold the up button, it acts like it turns the headlight on, but there is no headlight on this bike. They did away with the headlight. I think the wire is still down up in the controller box. There's a red wire. I'm assuming that's for a headlight, so if you guys wanted to add one in the future, you probably could. I don't know for sure because I didn't test it for power, but I'm assuming they just quit including it on here. 2 other things I wanted to mention that I noticed is they have a mount on each side of the frame here, and then these 2 screws in here that makes me think that maybe they might possibly either make or in the future make a rack for this. That would be kind of cool to put a little tiny rack on the back. I haven't been able to find anything from them for it, but that would be nice if you could possibly get something for that in the future. And then up here on the front, there's like a little clear dot that's supposed to protect the handlebar when it folds down from hitting the frame. However, that dot is not in the right spot. With them redesigning this stem and putting this different style stem on here, it actually comes down over here. So this dot should have been about right here. I'm gonna try to heat that up with maybe a heat gun or a blow dryer and peel it off and maybe stick it here. Or if not, just put some other kind of felt pad or try to get another one of these clear things for down here. All right, guys, so overall I'd say it's definitely a fun little bike to have. Now, it's not super powerful where it's going to power you up hills all day long, but it will get you up certain hills here and there when needed, and it's just a fun bike all in out. With it only being 40 pounds and folds up and really doesn't take up a super big footprint, I could see myself taking this with us a lot, just when we're limited on space. Like if we're going to a BMX race for my son or whatnot, I could throw this in the car, and both me and him will be able to ride it around when he's not out on the track, or just to get around in general. So it's just, I really like it, guys. I mean, it's different. It's going to suit people's needs differently, but what I really like is that I can ride it and my son can ride it. So we might have to take this one on the bike trail and see how many miles he gets out of it. I don't know. He'll probably get a lot, because this thing's rated for a decent bit of miles with a 150-pound rider, and he's only about 50 pounds, so I'd imagine it would get a lot more with him on it. So if you guys are interested in picking one of these up or seeing the specs, I'll leave links down below for both Amazon and their site. Now, I think on their site, you can use the coupon code McIntosh to get $10 off. And I believe they have a sale going on for the next month or two, that if you sign up, you can get up to $50 off one of their bikes, and it might even work with my coupon code. I'm not 100% sure, guys, but if you do use those links, I will make a small commission at no extra cost to you. And I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you learned something, and I will see you guys around on the next one. Thanks for watching. Whew.